This is a demonstration of exercise S94 computing second year depreciation and accumulated depreciation. On January 1st, 2018, Advanced Airline purchased a used airplane at a cost of $60,500,000. Advanced Airline expects the plane to remain useful for 8 years or 5 million miles and to have a residual value of $5,500,000. Advanced Airline expects the plane to be flown 1,100,000 miles the first year and 1,200,000 miles the second year. The requirements state in Part 1 to compute second year 2019 depreciation expense on the plane using the following methods: straight line, units of production, and double declining balance. So our first method that we are going to compute depreciation using is the straight line method. In the straight line method, we start out with the cost, $60,500,000, and we subtract the residual value, which the problem states would be $5,500,000. And that gives us what we call our depreciable cost. So if we subtract $5,500,000 from $60,500,000, we get $55 million. The useful life of this equipment is 8 years, so the $55 million divided by 8 is going to be $6,875,000 in depreciation for all of the years, all 8 years, so for the first and the second year also. The next method that we're going to use is units of production. When we use units of production, we first have to calculate the depreciation per unit. So we start out again with our cost, $60,500,000, and we do subtract our residual value of $5,500,000. And then we divide that depreciable cost, $55 million, by the number of miles that this airplane will fly over its useful life, which the problem told us it expects it to fly 5 million miles. So we have a depreciable cost per mile of $11. Now we'll use that $11 to calculate the depreciation for each of the years. So we start off again with 11, and then we multiply it by the first year usage, which the problem stated was 1,100,000 miles, and that gives us $12,100,000 in first year depreciation. We do the same thing for the second year. We multiply 11 times 1,200,000 miles, and that gives us $13,200,000 in second year depreciation. The third method that we're going to use to compute depreciation is double declining balance. When we use double declining balance, again, we start out with our cost, $60,500,000, but we don't subtract residual value. When you use double declining balance, you take the cost minus the accumulated depreciation and you multiply that times 2 times the straight line rate, or 2 times 1 divided by the useful life. You continue to do that each year until you get to the residual value, and you do not depreciate below the residual value. So for our first year's depreciation, we have no accumulated depreciation. So our first year depreciation is going to be $60,500,000 times 0.25, which is 2 times the straight line rate. So our second year depreciation will be $60,500,000 again. And this time we're going to subtract the accumulated depreciation, which we calculated for the first year, of $15,125,000. So, and then multiply that times 2 times the straight line rate, and we get $11,343,750 for the second year depreciation. The second part, or second requirement of this problem stated, calculate the balance in accumulated depreciation at the end of the second year for all 3 methods. So I have been updating this spreadsheet for the depreciation as we calculated it under each of the 3 methods, and for year 1 and then year 2, and then I sum those. So for the straight line method, we had $13,750,000 for the 2 years. For the units of production, we had 25,300,000, and for the double declining balance, we had 26,468,750. And that is the conclusion of the demonstration of exercise S94.